All right, so I'm going to send, wow, 2. Yep. Yeah.
Hello.
Check. Check. It's even bad. Okay. Check. 1. What?
Ó ti sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni kankan wọn sọ̀rọ̀ kan. Ó ti mú jù tẹ́lẹ̀ mo tún ti. Hello, can you hear me? I can hear
Yes,
you.
can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How we doing?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry?
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so we have good audio. Just hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so it's the entire hall that can hear you. Okay, good. Yeah. Just hold on. Check. Just hold on. While we're having that one, that's still coming from. There's something that's still returning. Okay, are you still on the line?
I will just solve this problem. It is where my brother. Yeah.
That is a serious difference. Again, extra.
Enactus.
Ele tá saindo.
For you. Enactus. Yeah?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Enactus.
Hello, Zoom. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay,
I can
that's
hear
good.
you.
Okay.
Are we good?
Okay, so okay, you can come back inside now. Yeah, I believe so.
So can we all be on our feet as we take the national anthem? All right, at the count of 1, 2, 3, we go. 1, 2, 3. Arise, O conventual, Nigeria, call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. With heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. God bless Nigeria. Let's have our seats. Sorry, I didn't put the mic close to my mouth. I didn't want my voice to give people earache. My voice wasn't, it's not my calling to sing. You know that some of us will give this mic and they will take the national anthem to the next level. So it's good to know your calling. It's good to know what you're designed to do. I want to formally and officially welcome us to today's event, the official launch of NCDMB funded Entrepreneurship and Innovation Challenge. The average Nigerian youth is hardworking and dogged. The average Nigerian youth wants to make it big. The average Nigerian youth wants to make the impact, wants to make the society a better place. The average Nigerian youth is hungry and desirous of bigger things, desirous of attaining levels his or her parents never did. Science, technology, entrepreneurship are three major legs that could make a lot of difference for the energetic Nigerian youth. The energetic Nigerian youth who is desirous of making his a better place, who is desirous of making impacts, not just in one industry, across industries and in the society at large. And it is for we are here today to talk about a challenge, tag, stick, that would give us, the Nigerian youth, I say us because I believe I'm a Nigerian youth, that will give us the opportunity to engage science, technology, and entrepreneurship in being able to make significant impacts at industries and make our nation a better place and our continent at large. And so I'm going to immediately invite to the stage to give us a formal opening for this event, the country manager of Enactus Nigeria, Mr. Michael Ajayi. Please put your hands together for him as he comes up.
Thank you very much, Timothy. I'd like to start by following due protocol, and I hope that I get the protocols right this morning. The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Engineer Simbi Wapote, the representative of the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Olatubosun Alake, who is also the SA on Innovation and Technology to the Governor, the representative of the United States Consulate in Lagos, Jennifer Fu, who is also the Deputy Public Affairs Officer of the U.S. Consulate in Lagos, our special guests all seated here today, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and everyone else, I want to welcome you specially on behalf of the Enactus Nigeria Network and the management of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB. I'd like to welcome you to the official launch of the long-awaited Science and Technology Innovation Challenge, which is fully funded by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board. The Science and Technology Innovation Challenge, which we have abbreviated as STIC, S-T-I-C, is an enterprise development program designed to challenge Nigerian undergraduates to a culture of research and development and to apply science, technology, and innovation in creating homegrown social enterprises that provide innovative business solutions to everyday problems in different sectors of the economy and sustainably create wealth and job opportunities. I mean, given the rising rates of unemployment in Nigeria today, which now starts at an alarming 27.1%, and its attendant manifestations around the country in the form of unprecedented levels of kidnapping, banditry, terrorist attacks, and the recent social unrest and looting that engulfed the nation, there is indeed no better time to unveil such a youth-centric program that seeks to engage, to inspire, and to support the otherwise dynamic, resourceful, and innovative Nigerian youths to become successful social innovators and business leaders. In Enactus Nigeria, we believe that the multi-sectoral partnerships that include key stakeholders from the public, private, and social sectors, such as the STIC program, hold the key to orchestrating the kind and magnitude of social impact necessary to sustainably lift people out of poverty, to create jobs, opportunities, and generate and distribute wealth, as well as improve the living standards of the majority of the underserved in our society. We are therefore in Enactus Nigeria excited that the NCDMB also shares this belief and has found Enactus Nigeria a worthy organization to create this level of multi-sectoral partnership with. We will therefore continue to seek new opportunities to expand this partnership to other government agencies, as well as public institutions that may also be seeking to contribute to the process of creating opportunities for young people to thrive and succeed as social innovators and entrepreneurial leaders in Nigeria. Such partnerships, we hope, will also create more opportunities for the unemployed and reduce the rate of crime and criminality around the country. Indeed, we need for the crime and criminalities or rising crime and criminalities in the country to be urgently stemmed down. Enactus is the world's largest experiential learning platform dedicated to creating a better world while developing the next generation of entrepreneurial leaders and social innovators. The Enactus network of global business, academic, and student leaders are unified by one vision to create a better and more sustainable world. And we diligently pursue, since its inception in Nigeria 20 years ago, Enactus Nigeria has diligently pursued its purpose, which is developing resource values-driven entrepreneurial leaders and social innovators by focusing its efforts on training the participant students on two key areas: leadership development and entrepreneurship development. Enactus is presently active in all 30 tertiary institutions across the country, and we are committed to expanding this program and its benefits to all other tertiary institutions around the country. The Science and Technology Innovation Challenge is a perfect fit to the Enactus program, as it further supports Enactus Nigeria to achieve its purpose, whilst also creating value for the NCDMB. We are therefore delighted that the NCDMB found Enactus Nigeria a credible organization to partner with for the delivery of the Science and Technology Innovation Challenge. It is therefore our hope that as a nation, and that as the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board challenges the Nigerian youth to develop innovative, science-based, technology-driven solutions to address everyday problems in Nigerian in different sectors through the STIC, that the Nigerian youths will also be inspired to embrace the fourth industrial revolution, which is now upon us really, and be positioned to take advantage of it rather than to become victims of the fourth industrial revolution. As the Science and Technology Innovation Challenge is officially launched today, I would like to use this opportunity to encourage Nigerian undergraduates out there, and even those sitting in the room today, who are interested in taking advantage of the business development support available through this program for the transformation of their innovative ideas into sustainable business ventures. So as a matter of urgency, visit the website www.stic.org.ng and submit their applications. We look forward to receiving all of your applications, and we look forward to a successful and exciting challenge for innovation, entrepreneurship, leadership, and social impact. At this point, I'd like to say thank you again to NCDMB for the partnership and for your commitment to the success of this program. Thank you all, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, could we give him a round of applause again? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Please, a quick announcement. The owner of this car, Audi, it's an Audi car, Ekpe 547FX. You're needed urgently by your car. Audi, Ekpe 547FX. You're needed urgently by your car. All right, so bringing up our next speaker as we move forward in today's event, I'm going to quickly introduce introduce our next speaker, who will be talking to us online via the Zoom platform, Jennifer Foltz. Jennifer serves as the Deputy Public Affairs Speaker at the U.S. Consulate General in Lagos, Nigeria. Previously, she served as the Public Affairs Officer for the Office of Asian Affairs and the Office of Canadian Affairs. Before that, she was a watch officer in the Operations Center. Prior to that, Jennifer was the social media coordinator in the Bureau of Eastern Asian and Pacific Affairs. Jenny has served overseas in Rwanda as a political officer and in the Philippines as a consul officer and an assistant cultural affairs officer. Before joining States, she was a global health fellow in UNICEF, Africa's Bureau. Jenny's interest in foreign affairs began during her time as a Peace Corps volunteer in Ghana from 2003 to 2005. After completing her service, she earned an MA in International Development from the Joseph Kobel School at the University of Denver. She grew up in Michigan. Can we put our hands together to make welcome Jennifer Foltz? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for that kind introduction. I'd first like to acknowledge Michael Ajayi, who is an alumnus of both the U.S. government's International Visitor Leadership Program and the Humphrey Program. And we like to support our alumni as much as we can, especially when they're doing amazing programs like this one today. So congratulations, Michael. I'd also like to acknowledge the other distinguished speakers who are sharing their time and expertise today. And because Michael has already said everyone's names, even though I practice how to pronounce all of them, I will just leave it at that since Michael has already listed everyone. But we really appreciate you coming out and supporting this event and taking your time to be here today. So I'm really excited to be here with you for the first Science and Technology Innovation Challenge, which is designed to get students to apply STEM to create homegrown business solutions. I love the theme. I love the theme of leveraging technology and innovation to drive social and economic impact. This is the perfect solution to not just Nigeria's, but to global challenges, for young people to use technology to address problems while also creating viable businesses. In the 21st century, knowledge-based societies must work together in an increasingly interconnected world. Science and technology partnerships that the United States forms with other countries address essential issues such as sustainable economic growth, urban development, public health, and environmental security. The Department of State engages with foreign governments, other US government agencies, civil society, academia, and of course, up-and-coming young leaders like those with us today to tackle all of these challenges. Science, technology, and innovation advance international partnerships, stimulate economic growth, enhance energy security, and contribute to open societies. The US government uses science and technology cooperation to foster a global environment where innovation, invention, and industry can thrive. Science and technology cooperation strengthens our international relationships because these disciplines are based on values that transcend politics, languages, borders, and cultures. The State Department, who I work for here at the Consulate, supports international educational exchange programs in science and technology and encourages women and girls to develop STEM networks to enhance their career development opportunities. So I'd like to give you a couple of examples of the programs that we work on throughout the continent and that we partner with our Nigerian partners. For example, we have the Young African Leaders Initiative, or YALI. That is the US government's signature effort to invest in the next generation of African leaders. YALI was launched in 2010 to support young African leaders as they spur growth and prosperity, strengthen democratic governance, and enhance peace and security across sub-Saharan Africa. So for anyone who's listening who is interested in YALI, we do have a YALI network online that you can join for free. And there are tons of resources there, including free online trainings and other resources. So just go ahead and Google the YALI network after this event, and please sign up and follow their social media accounts. So another example is the Tech Women Exchange Program. Since 2013, the US mission in Nigeria has sponsored 5 to 8 young Nigerian female leaders in STEM fields to travel to the United States for a 5-week training and mentoring program. This Tech Women program empowers, connects, and supports the next generation of women leaders in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics through mentorship and exchange. This program strengthens participants in their professional capacity and increases mutual understanding between networks of professionals. It also expands the interests of young girls in STEM careers by exposing them to female role models in their communities. And finally, I'd like to mention the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, or AWE. So in 2019, the US Department of State established AWE to help women entrepreneurs get the skills, resources, and networks they need to start and scale successful businesses. This was created to support the White House, the White House's initiative called WGDP, or the Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative. So this was the first whole of government effort to advance global women's economic empowerment. So last September in Lagos, we held our inaugural Academy for Women Entrepreneurs for 100 business women. And next week, we'll actually launch our second, and that will be for 120 business women. But to give you an idea of the scope, we received over 10,000 applications for just 120 slots. So that just demonstrates the growing need and desire for more entrepreneurship training. So in closing, I would like to again congratulate Michael on this initiative and thank the panelists and speakers for their contributions. I look forward to hearing what the students come up with and wish everyone the best of luck. Thank you.
Please, let's put our hands together again for that speech. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jennifer Foltz. Thank you very much. I'll bring in up our next speaker to give us a keynote address. And the person of Engineer Simbi K. Wabote. Please pardon me if I didn't call the name well, so let me do a proper introduction. Just a minute, sir. Engineer Simbi K. Wabote was appointed as the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board by the President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, on the 29th of September, 2016. Prior to the appointment, he was an executive director of Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC Nigeria Limited, and general manager business and government relations for Shell companies in Nigeria. He served in Shell in various senior positions within Nigeria and in several countries in Africa, Europe, North America, Middle East, Asia, and new frontiers countries in engineering, local content, contracting and procurement, government relations, and community affairs. President Muhammadu Buhari, on September 2020, renewed the appointment of Engineer Simbi as Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board. He won his pipes for managing the Nigerian Content Development Fund, NCDF, prudently, completing the NCDMB headquarters building, and initiating many landmark projects that are widely commendable by industry players. Engineer Wabote holds an MSc from Leeds Metropolitan University and is a graduate of civil engineering from Rivers State University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt, as well as a graduate of INSEAD Group Leadership Program. He has very sound technical and business competencies with proficient skills in engineering, project management, local content strategic development, human capacity building, government relationship, and stakeholders management. He's also a fellow of the Nigerian University of Engineers and a current registered engineer and a member Institute of Nigerian Engineers, London. Please put your hands together loudly as we make welcome Mr. Engineer Simbi. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, MC. At some point, I was looking behind if he was introducing somebody else. I didn't know it was me. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Really appreciate. The representative of the Executive Governor of Lagos State, here present with us, Alake Olatubosun, who is also the Special Assistant to the Governor on Science, Technology, and Innovation. The Managing Director of Bank of Industry, my brother and friend, who manages NCDMB fund even more than I do, Olukayode Ekbiton, here present. I also recognize our speaker that just spoke to us via Zoom, Jennifer Forbes. We have here Mrs. Teju Abisoye, who is the Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. The panel of discussants and speakers, both virtually and in person. These days, I like the way conferences and seminars are held, either physically or virtually. That's why we continue to reduce space in terms of number of people that will attend the event, and that's attestation of what's going on today. The country director, Enactus Nigeria, Michael Ajayi, my colleagues on the board of NCDMB, the management staff, as well as staff of the board, gentlemen of the press, tertiary institutions here represented, and all those who are joining us virtually. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I've been mandated to give the keynote address on this auspicious occasion, which I really hold dear to my heart, because when I see the energy associated with youth, I see a lot of latent energy with them as well as potential energy. And I sincerely believe if this energy is directed towards the right cause, it would change the narrative about Nigeria. Therefore, it gives me the great pleasure to deliver this keynote address to all our distinguished guests here present at the formal kickoff of the Nigerian Content, Science and Technology Innovation Challenge for students of tertiary institutions. My address today will provide an overview of the activities of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board with specific focus on our initiatives in the area of human capacity development. I will also highlight the opportunities that we see in science and technology and innovation, and the need to prepare and position our young minds and talents for the fourth industrial revolution that is about to take place. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board was established in the year 2010 by the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act as the sole agency of the federal government responsible for driving the development of local content in the oil and gas industry. The key mandate of the board, as enshrined in the NOGIC Act, is to develop local capacities and capabilities, monitor compliance, and enforce the provisions of the Act. Our vision is to serve as a catalyst for the industrialization of the Nigerian oil and gas industry and its linkage sectors. These linkage sectors include power, construction, ICT, and several others. Prior to the 2010 oil and gas exploration and production activities were dominated by foreign personnel, goods and services with little or no effort made to incorporate local goods and services into the value chain of our oil and gas industry. Then local content value in the oil and gas industry was below 5%, With the enactment of the NOGIC Act in 2010, NCDMB has been making efforts to develop local capabilities and capacities in line with its mandate. Such efforts have begun to yield dividends, as local content level has now significantly improved from the less than 5% to 31%. As part of the efforts aimed at repositioning the board for high performance, a 10-year strategic roadmap was developed with the audacious goal of increasing local content level to 70% by the year 2027. The 10-year roadmap was hinged on 5 key pillars and 4 enablers. The strategic pillars are technical capability development, compliance and enforcement, enabling business environment, organizational capability, and sectorial and regional market linkages. The enablers include funding, regulatory environment, collaboration and stakeholder engagement, and research and statistics. The Science, Technology, and Innovation Challenge we are launching today is one of the several initiatives we are implementing to develop indigenous capacities. We believe that tapping from the ingenuity of our young talents, we will enhance the delivery of the various strategic initiatives enunciated in a 10-year strategic roadmap. In line with our mandate and in recognition of the pivotal role that youths play as the workforce of the nation, NCDMB has targeted most of its initiatives towards the youths. Over the period of 10 years, about 10 million training man-hours have been utilized to train youths under project-based training and direct training interventions from NCDMB. Permit me, therefore, to briefly share some of the initiatives under the Human Capacity Development programs that we have been driving for the past couple of years. We have sponsored several Marine cadets to acquire international sea time experience in 2019. This year, we are having additional cadets whom we are sponsoring to acquire international sea time experience in order to fill the gap that we see there in the marine sector. In recognition of the importance of technical education as a tool for national development, the board has embarked on the upgrade of vocational educational centers across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. The board undertook a study of the existence of vocational institutions in our country. We discovered so many of them, but sad to say that almost 90% of those discovered are non-functional. Therefore, the board has chosen to intervene in that area. The board partnered with the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, on youth development and empowerment by training several youths on 9 vocational skills areas. We are training other youths on non-destructive training to secure level 3 certification of the American Society of Non-Destructive Testing. Currently, we have only 11 professionals in the country with such certification nationwide. Meanwhile, there's a lot of money that is being spent in the construction of huge oil and gas facilities without this capacity in our country to help in testing. We are training youths on other vocations. We partnered recently with the Lagos Energy Academy to train and satisfy youths in electrical engineering. The program achieved 60% of job placement for participants in that training. In recognition of the critical role of ICT in national development, we embarked on construction and equipping of ICT centers in secondary schools across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Some of the secondary schools have benefited from the ICT centers in Kwara, Kogi, Niger State, Imo, Abia, Lagos State, just to mention but a few. Others are also in Akwa Ibom, Delta State, Cross River State, Bayelsa, and River State. We also invested in the training of teachers to improve STEM education with over 1,500 teachers trained to date. The board also invested in the Youth Empowerment Initiative in the form of the GSM repairs. Training a total of 3,000 youths have been trained on how to repair GSM hardware as well as develop softwares in Kano, Yobe, Bauchi, and Cross River State. The board recently completed the 4th edition of the annual undergraduate essay competition aimed at getting the thoughts of the youths on the role of research and development in the oil and gas industry. The first edition of the NOCTEC Hackathon was concluded 2 months ago, and it produced 5 groups of winners who are currently undergoing technology incubation and mentoring at our office facility in Yenagoa in Bayelsa State. Ladies and gentlemen, let me highlight that as we train for human capacity development on the supply side, we are also working on the demand side so that the capacities and capabilities developed can be effectively utilized. The board is involved in the development of industrial parks in 6 states to enhance manufacturing, entrepreneurship, and job creation. We have several partnerships on the development of modular refineries, which of course I'm happy to announce that the President will commission our first modular refinery on the 24th of this month. LPG cylinder manufacturing, power plant, gas processing, and others to generate employment for those that we have trained. We are proud of our intervention program in human capacity development, but we still want to do more. Today, we are introducing another dimension into the mix of our intervention with the Science, Technology, and Innovation Challenge in partnership with Enactus. With about 170 public and private universities in Nigeria, producing more than 500,000 graduates every year, we see huge opportunity to extract brilliant ideas from our agile and very creative youths to solve current and future societal problems. The mission of Enactus is to engage the next generation of entrepreneurs, leaders, to use innovation and business principles to improve the world. That is the dream of the youths that we have today. Our interest is therefore to catalyze this for the Nigerian youths. This program seeks to motivate and challenge Nigerian undergraduates to imbibe the culture of research and development and apply science, technology, and innovation to creating human homegrown business solutions to every problems in the oil and gas industry and different sectors of the Nigerian economy. Today, the world is challenged by the need for energy mix. This is an opportunity for us to look at other sources of energy using the latent and innovative skills of our youths today. Therefore, taking a brief look at history, industrial revolutions were brought about by technology and innovation, even though the newly acquired technology became an archaic over time. Today, the world's most profitable companies is not the oil and gas industry anymore. Technology is taking a lead. If you research or Google the 6 most profitable companies in the world, you will not see the oil and gas companies as part of those. It is the Googles, it is the Facebooks of this world, the Amazon of this world, that are now leading and driving the economy of the world. Therefore, why can't we take advantage of it rather than solely depending on oil and gas as the miracle source of wealth for the nation? There are other potential opportunities that we must explore. Hence, change is inevitable. The wise choice is to get ready and flow with the change, rather than stay stagnant and disrupted out of the system. We need positive, disruptive change in order to change the thinking and the psyche of Nigerians. We are in the era of cloud computing, Internet of Things, robotics, big data, and many more. Straight from your hand phone, you can order for a pizza or a private jet and make payment for it if you can afford it. Slowly and steadily, newspaper, bank checks, raw cash, and many of these things we are using today will become obsolete. Trust me, it will happen sooner than you can imagine. Technology and innovation have revolutionized the business environment such that tech firms are much more valuable and in most cases earn much more revenue than the conventional businesses that we know today. For instance, the share price of Apple Incorporated on the New York Stock Exchange is about 3 times that of ExxonMobil, that used to be the biggest oil and gas firm in the world. The market capitalization of Apple is 2 trillion, while that of Exxon is about 160 billion. Can you imagine what technology can do and bring about in the world? That should tell us where the world is heading. Electric cars have just been introduced into the Nigerian market. Kudos to the executive governor of Lagos State. The other day, I saw him unveil the first electric car in Nigeria. Any discerning mind will note that the end of the era petrol-driven cars in Nigeria has gradually started. It will not happen overnight, but we have been served notice that it will surely come. Therefore, let us do our bit to prepare, position to embrace this and other aspects of the 4th industrial revolution that is with us as we speak. In view of the opportunities created by technology and innovation in trying times such as the COVID-19 era, I call on our teeming youths to put on their thinking caps and innovate towards creating viable solutions that will solve business challenges in Nigeria and the world at large and earn the reward that comes with it. The competition, therefore, is open to Nigerian undergraduates from any of the accredited tertiary institutions in Nigerian universities or polytechnics. I look forward to wonderful ideas at the zonal and regional levels to boot camp and the grad finale. Let me once again commend our partner, Enactus Nigeria, for our belief in investing in students to create entrepreneurs and values-driven social innovators across 1,730 campuses in 36 countries all over the world. Let me also appreciate the Lagos State government for being our host and for hosting the largest concentration of youths in Nigeria today. This poses the challenge, but also presents a number of opportunities for the Lagos State government. We are therefore ready to partner with the state to further channel the creativity and energy of our youths to promote peace, development, and excellence in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all the best, particularly the participants, and I thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Sir, please pardon me, and can we give another round of applause for that? Fantastic, fantastic. He has thrown up a challenge to us, the youth, to like never before engage technology to bring about a better society, a better nation, and a better world. All right, a quick announcement. Under CRV blue color, my mistake in the first announcement, it's not an Audi car, it's an Honda CRV blue color, EPE 347FX. You are needed urgently. Honda CRV blue colored, EPE 347FX. You are needed urgently. Is anybody running out? Is anybody running out? I hope so. All right, thank you very much. We're moving pretty fast on this. Our next item on the agenda is the welcome address by His Excellency Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by Mr. Ola Tubosun Alake, the SA for Innovation and Technology. Please put your hands together as he mounts the stage. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Engineer Simbi Wambute, the Managing Director, Bank of Industry, Sakayo Dekpito. I know you quite well. I don't know if you know me, but I'm a fan of your work, and I know you from some other places, so it's good to see you here. The Country Manager Enactus, Mr. Michael Ajayi, Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, Mrs. Teju Abisoye, my partner, I wouldn't say in crime, but in good things, and Mrs. Jennifer Falls, of course. I bring you greetings from, apologies, yes. Sadly, he couldn't be here, but he sends his warm regards, and he wanted me to let you know that this particular initiative is very much up his alley. I think on assumption of office, it was how do we create long-term value and raise the standard of living in Lagos and in large part Nigeria. And it's really science, technology, and innovation. And so we started a number of activities, some of which I would highlight too. But I really want to stress that initiatives like this, collaborations between state entities, private sector organizations across the technology value chain are very important for us to really drive science and technology development in Lagos. From the governor, I compliment the efforts of Engineer Simbi Wambute, Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Consulate and Monitoring Board, management and the entire staff of the agency for taking the bull by the horns and leading the charge of making Nigeria a critical player in the new knowledge economy era, which defines socio-economic development and relevance in the Committee of Nations. The concept of motivating and providing the needed exposure for our youths, particularly in the tertiary institutions, with the active support and collaboration of Enactus Nigeria through this initiative is highly commendable and worthy of support from government and the corporate sector because of the rub-off effect that the positive developments from this platform will generate. Indeed, the adopted theme, leveraging technology and innovation to drive social impact and sustainable growth, speaks to the issues of harnessing the huge potentials of technology-driven innovation. Through the empowerment of our youth, we need to drive the potential growth and development of our national economy in order to completely in order to compete effectively on a global platform. We have the resources to enable our youth to thrive in a knowledge economy. Examples abound of youths who have transformed the global landscape through technology innovations to define lifestyle and culture. It is time for Nigerian youths to take a step and engrave themselves in the global technology innovation fabric. The first Science and Technology Innovation Challenge, organized by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board with the support of Enactus Nigeria, is a laudable platform for Nigerian youths to spread and launch themselves into global reckoning in terms of technology innovation, design, and implementation. Our administration in Lagos State has been in the forefront of promoting technology and innovation as platforms to empower youths to compete with their peers on a global scale and contribute to social and economic development and growth of our community. I'm highly impressed with this turnout today, particularly in Lagos State, in the Lagos State-based tertiary institutions, at the Lagos Hackathon Series, and the Ready, Set, Work initiatives to prepare and condition the mindset of our youths to become entrepreneurs and create value for themselves and the society, rather than leaving school to become just conventional job seekers. The future is here today, and we have to ensure that our youths are solidly rooted in the front lines of the new knowledge economy era. One of our administration's initiatives to promote technology-driven innovation and develop solutions to our local development challenges was the inauguration of the Lagos State Science, Research, and Innovation Council in December. I think our website is right here. Last year, December, we launched the 250 million naira seed funding. And we awarded the first set of beneficiaries in September of this year. Some of the beneficiaries include some of our tertiary institutions. We awarded about 16 research initiatives across the Lagos State universities, schools like University of Lagos, Yaba College of Technology, Lagos Polytechnic. And we awarded about 7 startups, minimum of 5 million naira each, innovating in different areas like the circular economy, recycling, food security, COVID-19 alleviation. Some of our awardees are currently helping the Lagos State government in their contact tracing initiatives with COVID and hospital research, resource management across state hospitals. And so Lagos State is really committed to driving long-term value creation for the state through our young people. The first set of beneficiaries of this fund had a total grant of 100 million to support the development of innovative solutions and to solve local problems using local solutions. I urge everyone taking part in this inaugural edition to participate actively, share ideas, and seek for more knowledge from industry professionals and leaders from your own growth and the benefit of our community. Indeed, your performance at this epic occasion will serve to boost the morale of other youths who will be looking forward to follow in your footsteps. I assure the participants that you are embarking on a journey that will boost your morale and add value to your lives and the society. I commend Engineer Simbi Wabute and the NCDMB and Enactus Nigeria for developing and powering this concept of the Science, Technology, and Innovation Challenge for the benefit of our youths and the society at large. The Lagos State government is fully committed to partnering with the local content monitoring board and all other private sector participants to raise the level of science and technology development in Lagos State and in Nigeria. We just actually completed an innovation call out a few days ago, actually. We had a call out for innovative startups and of course for the development of STEM initiatives for our young people in schools. And I think we had over almost 200 STEM applications which we are going through currently, and a number of innovative startups as well. So Lagos State is looking to partner with organizations in this realm to really resource our science and technology ecosystem, because we believe long-term value creation is not just by us adopting the technology, but creating our own solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that great speech. I do hope we are learning. One of the essence of coming today is to learn. Every great man today is someone who is often continuously improving himself. So if we want to get better at what we do, we must adopt the habit of always learning. And this is a fantastic opportunity to learn something. So ensure that you're living here with something new. If you keep doing things the same way, you won't get a different result. So let's ensure that we're learning and we'll do things differently and better as we go on. So in moving forward, we're going to moving into our panel, a panel of discussions where we're going to be talking about several topics. And to anchor this panel discussion is no other person than Sheriff O. Badamusi, the Senior Principal Consultant for JPIN Consulting. Thank you very much, sir. It's going to be a wonderful time of questions and answers. So get ready to learn, get ready to get answers to your questions.
Which am I using? This one. You good? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's absolutely phenomenal to be here. I've just been wowed since the beginning of this event, and very, very encouraged by what the future holds for Nigeria in the midst of all things that are going on here. And I really, really do appreciate everybody here that has taken the time out to come and be a part of this initiative. I do celebrate our distinguished panel. If you permit me, I'll stand on existing protocols, but I would really, really appreciate all of you on behalf of everybody that is here for your time that you've taken out to really come and be a part of this and also to spearhead this initiative. Now, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, in collaboration with the Enactus, has come up with this STIC, which is a Science, Technology, Innovation competition. Now, generally, the objective of this, for those that might not have really grasped this, is to provide opportunity for Nigerian youths to be engaged, to be inspired, to be mentored, to be supported to become successful innovators, and to develop their innovative business ideas into sustainable business ventures. This challenges undergraduates far and wide across all the tertiary institutions in Nigeria to develop science-based and technology-driven solutions to problems in any sector of the economy, including, but not limited to, agriculture, education, health, climate, finance, transportation, entertainment, and retail. And we're hoping that a lot of you youths will take advantage of this opportunity. They're clamoring for a lot of things. We're looking for the next best thing. And we know that we are at the advent of the fourth industrial revolution. It's imminent. It's something that the world has already embraced, and we are already embracing here in Nigeria. So we really encourage a lot of young people to take advantage of these opportunities that come. The government is doing a lot. Private sector is doing a lot. And we do have these platforms that enable you to be able to come forward, be heard with all your ideas, all your innovations, and receive the requisite support that you actually need to forge ahead and bring success and development to this great nation of ours. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce our panelists today that we're going to be having some very interesting discussions with. I'm going to start, first of all, by introducing Mrs. Teju Abisoye. Mrs. Teju Abisoye is the Executive Secretary of the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, a Lagos State government agency established to create jobs and tackle unemployment by providing skills development and entrepreneurship opportunities to Lagos residents. Prior to assuming this role, she was a program and coordination director of the LSETF. She has worked across various roles in project planning, execution, monitoring, and evaluation of humanitarian projects. She also has extensive experience with government-driven entrepreneurship programs, especially YouWin, an initiative of the federal government of Nigeria. Mrs. Teju is a trained lawyer with over 14 years experience in the socio-economic development space. She has had LLM in international trade and investment law from the University of Pretoria and an LLB from the University of Ibadan. She's also an alumni of Yale Women's Leadership Program. Please put your hands together and welcome Mrs. Teju Abisoye to the panel. Thank you. Hi. Good afternoon. Please have a seat. Welcome. Right, I'm going to introduce our next panelist. It's Mr. Olukayode A. Piton. Mr. Piton is the MD CEO of the Bank of Industry, Nigeria's oldest and largest development finance institution. He draws on significant work experience gained in both the corporate and the banking sector during the course of his over 30-year career. He began his career with Citibank, Nigeria in 1986. Prior to joining the BOI, Mr. Piton was the MD CEO of Caroline Properties Limited and Director of Excel E&P Limited. Previously, he held the position of the Executive Director of Unity Bank PLC, MD CEO at First Interstate Bank PLC in August 2004, where he successfully led the bank through a merger with 8 other lending institutions to form the Unity Bank. Mr. Piton holds a BSc Honors degree in Economics from the University of Ibadan and a Master's degree in International Management from the Thunderbird School of Global Management, Arizona, USA. He's an alumnus of the Lagos Business School, London Business School of Haggai, and the Haggai Institute in Singapore. Mr. Piton sits on various boards providing advisory and governance support. He is actively involved in youth empowerment and serves as a senior pastor at the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Please let us welcome Mr. Olukayode A. Piton. You're welcome, sir. Good to see you, sir. And joining us virtually, he's not able to be here today, is Mr. Toye Patrick Cole. Mr. Cole is a nation builder, a philanthropist who is passionate about good governance and the socio-economic development of Nigeria through the implementation of effective policies and the involvement of her teeming youth population in the transformation of the nation. An alumnus of the University of Lagos, Harvard Business School, and a fellow of the Transformational Leadership Fellowship Program at the Blavatnik School of Governance, Oxford. Mr. Cole is the co-founder and former Group Chief Executive Director of the Sahara Group, an energy conglomerate with operations spanning the entire energy chain in Nigeria and neighboring West African countries to East Africa and beyond. He continues to inspire and positively impact African youth through his NGO, Nehemiah Youth Empowerment Initiative, which aims to influence change in Africa by bringing together young and emerging leaders to develop and implement practical strategies that will produce positive outcomes for millions. He works closely with a number of foundations in Nigeria, including the Down Syndrome Foundation, Slums to School Foundation, the number of the Compassionate Center, and various orphanages. In September 2018, Mr. Cole made a life-changing decision to pursue a career in politics. He formally resigned from all board and executive roles held in Sahara Group to contest for the gubernatorial seat in his home state of Rivers. Please help me welcome virtually Mr. Patrick Toye Cole. Welcome. And last but not least, I would like to invite Engineer Simbi K. Wabote as well. I believe that no introductions are needed. He's actually been here. So please help me welcome Mr. Wabote, Engineer Wabote. You're welcome, sirs. Okay, so. I need to. Ooh. Okay, problem. I think, yes. Thank you, sir. Okay, so I'd like to thank you very much, your panelists, distinguished panelists, for taking your time out here. I'm just going to start with a few questions here. Sorry, I do apologize. Let me just arrange myself. Okay. I'd like each person to actually give an explanation to the topic of today. In terms of, I would like to start first with Mr. Piton, if you don't mind, giving us sort of like a brief explanation as to what your thought about your perspectives about the events today, please.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. Also need to thank Nigerian Content Development Management Board of factors, because this is a very good project that they actually funding. For me, we have no way around it. Nigeria is a youth country. We have a lot of young people. We have to create jobs for them. It is not what it used to be, that you went to school, you are hoping to leave school and work for a shell or a bank, whatever. People now have to create their own jobs. And people have to know that the way things are in the world today, you can work for yourself and you can do very well. And IT is the way to go. So for us, it's an area we support actively at DOI. And some of the things that we do, probably we'll talk about it later today. So I think we're in the right place. We're doing the right things. And we should get more companies doing what we are doing today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Piton. Can I also invite Mrs. Abisoye as well to give her insights as to what she thinks about today's event?
Okay, thank you very much again. And thank you to Enactus and all the partners for having us at LSCTF here today. I think this is a really good initiative because for us at LSCTF, our major objective is really to address youth unemployment. This particular initiative shows there is a lot of work going on in the development of the technology ecosystem. We recognize the fact that a lot of jobs are created when technology companies actually succeed, because if you look at Paga is a platform that actually employs over 17,000 people. If you look at Uber, you look at these numbers, there's a lot that can be done with technology. And to encourage young people to find solutions like that can actually solve not just Nigerian problems, but things that can eventually be exported. It's a great initiative. Last year, we worked with Enactus, the winner of the national prize that went to, and it was just good to see what can happen even within our nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Abisoye. I would like to invite Engineer to share his insights as well, although you have said a lot, sir.
Thanks, moderator. I thought you skipped me because I have insight through my keynote address. Personally, as a person, this is one of the things I'm passionate about, on how do we spark the innovative ideas within our youth in Nigeria. So this program is something we thought about in the board, amongst other programs we're doing to drive youth participation in activities. So we firmly believe this, and I personally, when we start things in the board, we have a process we call an end-to-end thinking. So we do not just initiate things, we see it through to where these innovative ideas will be practicalized and it will be out there for people to see. So I really look forward to this event. and the outcome of this, which we hope to showcase. And like Vitor said, I'm aware also the Bank of Industry, that is our partner, is also keen, particularly in technology and innovation. And I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to also invite Mr. Toya Cole virtually, if he can also shed his insights into the program as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Can everyone hear me? I'm not sure, but I hope so. Okay, excellent.
Very well, very
yes,
well.
we can, yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So good morning, and thank you for having me. Thank you, Cindy, Piton, Teju. These are all my better colleagues. So right now I'm in Oxford at University of Oxford studying transformational leadership. And the intersection between that and what Symbia and NCDC is doing here is the point that innovation is critical. If there's one thing that we know, especially when I was at Sahara, we used to say that innovate or die. If you do not innovate, you are dead. And today, the fourth industrial revolution is exactly where we need to go. That is what is pushing, and that's what's carrying us forward. So to the young people in the room, when we started, we were under 30 when we started at Sahara. We had to innovate back then. Today, where you are and where you sit is an intersection of something that is absolutely critical for not just Nigeria, but for the whole of Africa. And I'll just shut down with one statement. The battle for Africa is now a digital and data battle. You have China on one side, you have America on one side, and you need a third force that is the arbiter. And that is where Africa comes in. We need to stand up and do what needs to be done. And you are at the nexus of those two great battles, and you can make the difference. So this is absolutely timely. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Cole. I just want to let those of us that are watching online know that they're open to question and answer sessions. We are going to take about 4 questions, which is about 2 questions from those on audience, and we'll direct them to the right. I'm just going to go back to some questions now. May I just direct this to Mr. Piton, sir? Share with us 1 or 2 instances of how the BOI has helped to grow a youth-led innovation idea into a full business in the past.
Thank you very much. I'm sure this is working. You can hear me. Okay. Thank you very much. BO actively started engaging the youth in 2015. And then we have 2 major programs that we actually invest in for the youth. The Graduate Entrepreneurship Program. This we do with NYSC, which means, and it's only for people who are doing their NYSC. They are able to borrow money, they come up with their projects, it's assessed, and if you see that it can be supported by the bank, we can actually lend them up to 2 million naira. The interest, is 0%. And the security is a certificate, and we have done that over the years, and we have seen it. We must have disbursed between 2015 and now close to 1 billion naira, helping young graduates, without any security apart from their certificate. We have another program called the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, and that's for young people between 18 and that also started in 2015. And under that scheme, you can borrow up to 5 million naira. And same thing, you can have a guarantor. 2 guarantors guarantee you, and you can get the money. That also, we have probably disbursed over 1.3 billion naira. So when it comes to helping the youth, we do quite a bit. We are also in partnership with Procter & Gamble, in terms of trying to help the youth. We are in partnership with MTN Foundation doing that.
We are in partnership with UNIDO doing that. And over the years, we also do capacity development, for the youth. Under the JEF program, we have trained over 3,000 people. Over the ESP program, we have done over 7,000 people. Now what we are doing is second level training, because some of them have, they were able to have small businesses, shoemaking, different kinds of things. Now we are now reviewing the program, and we are taking out of the people who have made it, some of the young people who have made it, we are now at level 2, whereby now we are doing 9 weeks training for them, which is ongoing. But because of our time, I will probably stop here, But like I said, BOI is actively engaged in a lot of training for the youths,
Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to direct my next question to Mrs. Abisoye. In recent times, the LSCTF has launched an initiative to empower youth through the Lagos Innovates. Mm-hmm. What has the response of youth been so far to this initiative of LSCTF?
Okay, thank you very much again. So let me give a little bit of background into what Lagos Innovates is about. So we went into the ecosystem that was building in Lagos State to say, look, what are the challenges businesses, what are the challenges young people that want to innovate, what are the challenges they're facing? And they told us 3 things. First, access to infrastructure, access to talent, and access to funds. So they wanted equity funding and not just loans. So we set up a program called Lagos Innovates that seeks to address these 3 challenges for the ecosystem. With access to infrastructure, we provide workspace vouchers to young people who have ideas and need space to work out from. It's a grant, nobody's paying us, you're not paying us back anything when you get on the program. So you can apply to be in a workspace where you then get peer mentoring, on also other types of mentoring, and to work with peers in a conducive environment. So you're not thinking about issues around power, around operations. You just face that idea and you can develop it in the right space. The second one with access to talent is businesses then begin to grow and they're not able to find the right talents to execute the ideas. So on the market, they're not able to find the right developers and they're exporting to China and to India. We started a program where we actually provide access to talent for all these businesses. And it's not just the small businesses that need the talents, it's also the medium-sized businesses. So people apply to the program and then you get into one of the schools. The schools also signed up on our platform to learn different skills that are IT related, very strictly IT related in that space. This is in partnership with the Honeywell Group. And with access to funding, what we do now currently is we match startup founders to investors that are looking for people in the market. And the interesting thing, let me just add this in partnership with, obviously, Lagos State. So last week started what we're calling the ecosystem mapping, which provides information to anybody on the tech ecosystem. So if you are interested in working in a particular area, so maybe healthcare, and your idea has started, you want to then, we will then connect you to other founders in that specific area. And of course, we have our Idea Hub, where we provide mentoring for businesses that are actually starting out. So today, we've supported over 130 businesses with the workspace vouchers. We had over 200 applications to the Idea Hub. The first cohort just finished, and they'll be doing their pitch presentation this month. But a lot of work. We continue, all of these programs are available to any Lagos resident, any youth residents in Lagos, graduates or undergraduates. And that's the program at Lagos Innovates.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Abisoye. I'd like to direct my next question to Engineer Wabote. The NCDMB has been thought of mostly in terms of oil and gas. How then does the role of the board relate to the theme of the STIC 2020?
Thank you for that question, because the understanding of our mandate to a large extent is limited. It is only those who play in the oil and gas sector that have a bit of understanding. First, let's look at our mandate, which is clearly to build capacity in order to close the gap that we have in the oil and gas sector, particularly in the human capacity development aspect of it. When I started, I gave some bit of statistics on before the Local Content Act was enacted, less than 5% in terms of monetary value, in terms of human capacity participation in the oil and gas sector was a huge challenge. And the main thrust of the act then was to see how we get Nigerians both in human capacity and also in capability to provide service to the oil and gas sector. So we focused on that. And we also know that the annual spend in the oil and gas sector over the past couple of years, every year the sector spends about $21 billion, and it's only 3% of that was left in the country. Today, we started a process to see how we claw back that amount of money that was leaving the shores of Nigeria into the country. Today, I can tell you with confidence that we've been able to bring back about $6 to $7 billion that is domiciled in the country. And our target is to bring back about 70% of that to be spent in country. So that's about the capability development for Nigerians to participate in the oil and gas sector. The other bit was, how do we get Nigerian engineers, Nigerian accountants, lawyers, just mention all the profession to be part of the oil and gas value chain. I joined Shell in 1991. And when we joined then, the number of Nigerians in such a company was very limited. As a matter of fact, we were told where our potentials will get to as Nigerians being in that sector. You couldn't go beyond the supervisor. All other job was left for the experts to do. Today, as I speak, there are Nigerians who are managing directors of most of the international oil companies. A company like NLNG today, almost 95% of its staff are Nigerians. Same thing with Shell, same thing with Exxon and Total. When you then talk about the upstream operation, in those days, it was the exclusive preserve of the expert or international companies. Today, Nigerian companies are managing the upstream sector. You give an example like the likes of Seplat, the likes of ITEO, the likes of Eruton and Co. As a matter of fact, statistically, when Seplat took over the production of the field they manage today, they bought it over from Shell. That field was producing 20,000 barrels per day. Today, Seplat is taking that production to about 75,000 barrels per day, which shows you a phenomenal progress. And almost 99% of the staff in that organization are Nigerians. So we have done very well in terms of developing capacity and capability within the sector. The next bit we asked ourselves, the question we said, look, you want to achieve 70%. How will you do that if you don't engage in research and statistics, if you don't encourage innovation in country? You will continue to depend on foreign technology. So that's the next phase we've gotten into. We launched a research and development roadmap last year, a 10-year research and development roadmap, how to bring the academia, how to bring young people, how to bring researchers in order to innovate for us to then accelerate our growth and our trajectory in the oil and gas sector to the 70% that we look at. So this program is one of those programs. We are also engaging with the academia. The other day, the Council of the Board approved a $50 million grant to support university institutions to do researches and independent researchers, and also the establishment of about, in the 6th geopolitical zone, centers of excellence for specific research and activities and innovation programs. So these are the steps I've taken you through our wanting to occupy that capacity area, occupy the human capacity sector, and how to innovate in order to get us to the 70%. So that's what we've been doing so far.
Definitely deserves a round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. I would also like to direct a question to Mr. Cole virtually. As the co-founder of Sahara Energy and someone who has had a brief stint in the political arena, what do you think might be the greatest challenge with private sector or government supporting youths in leading innovation?
Absolutely. I would say that it's around policy. Going way back to when we started, just as Simbi said as well, starting Sahara in 1996 at the time, everything that we had to do and innovate was in an area where Nigerians in itself Nigeria did not have policies for Nigerians. And so long before the Local Content Act was enacted into law, we were already doing local content within an area where the policy did not exist for local content. And so we found ourselves consistently innovating and working and hoping that policy will catch up with us. Now, in today's world, what you are finding, especially within the technology and innovation space, is that innovation is far ahead of policy, which means that for those young people who are now being asked to innovate, to move forward, they have to do this within a context that policy does not favor them to an extent. And so that's where Simbi and Piton and even Teju come in, because you are seeing very progressive thinkers that are moving ahead of what will happen. A lot of young people are in the room today, and they are already being put in a position where they have to create and innovate and adapt for jobs in 5 years that don't even exist today. So ideas that they are coming up with today now, right? Within 5 years' time, they have to come up with things that do not exist today. And that requires a different type of mindset, both from the entrepreneur who has to innovate and from the government who has to create policies to enable this happen. And this is where that intersection is. One of the beautiful things that I see about Nigerian and about the Nigerian youth today is that they are hungry for innovation. They're hungry to do things. They are really hungry to do things. And so that space between the government and the entrepreneurs to create is a workable platform to allow innovation and entrepreneurship to thrive is where we need to go. And we don't have a choice. I believe that Piton already said that aspect of it, that the youth are too critical to Nigeria today, right now, for them to be ignored. And so we must do that. And just as an aside, when in the last year or so, just thinking about how to tap into and encourage the youth to do all of this, I decided to set up a company that invests as a venture capital, a cross between a hybrid PE and venture capital company that invests in the youth that have digital and technology enhanced businesses that want to move forward. And so we've already started making investments in those areas after they've gone through startup and they are that level of where they're looking for their next funding. And so we begin to invest in that because we believe 100% in the leapfrogging tendency and leapfrogging ability of tech for Africa and from Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cole. Looking at all that, I thank you everyone for answering the questions so far. One of the things that actually struck me was in terms, I'm now addressing the young people, by the way. Learning cannot be enforced. That's one of the things that struck me on any one of us. It is a voluntary act of a person's will. However, I believe that learning can actually be entitled. And that's one of the things that all these innovations are doing. The ability for the young people, because a lot of young people, they want to be engaged in something that would really, really tickle their fancy. A lot of the world has moved on. A lot of the way people are doing things has actually moved on. I mean, we are probably the last generation of conventional working. And these opportunities are being brought by all these different organizations. And I do implore that the youth of Nigeria will take advantage of these responsibilities rather than being counterproductive and not paying attention to these initiatives. I mean, they're here for you. So I'd just like to put that out and say, as much as possible, if you have any opportunity to be able to take advantage of this, which, by the way, it doesn't really involve too much. I mean, the funding is being provided and all that. I would implore all of you to actually look at this considerably and seriously, because I believe it's going to help you as a catalyst towards building your future and also building a career. So I'm just going to move on again to, sorry, I just wanted to put that out, sorry. I just want to move on to another round of questions with our panelists. I haven't spoken about what each of your organizations are doing. I'd just like to hear from your perspective, what more that you think could be done to better position Nigerian youths to come up with solutions that solve problems. This is on the back of what I've just said. Using technology, or examples of problems that you think technology can proffer solutions to. I don't know if you can lend your voice to something like that. I'll start with Engineer Wabote, if you don't mind.
All right. From your trajectory, I was waiting for you to start with Piton.
Sorry, I do apologize.
You chose because I wasn't even listening at some point. So I will crave your indulgence to repeat the question.
Absolutely, no problem, sir. I just wanted to hear your perspective about what more you think could be done to better position Nigerian youths to come up with solutions that solve problems using technology, for example, or examples that you feel of problems that you think technology can proffer solutions to.
Yeah, okay. I heard your question, but I wanted you to repeat it so that our audience can also hear it, because I think it's very important that people grasp the context with which we address this. I think as a government, in the first instance, we need to do a lot. And I think Tony spoke about it when he talked about policy direction and policy thrust. A typical example is when we started the journey of local content, most companies started seeing the benefits of local content, but we didn't achieve so much mileage. It was until when the act itself was enacted that we started achieving things that I talked about, because there were strong policies, there was a legislation, and there was sincere government commitment to drive that. So what we can do more is to ensure that we look at science and technology policies. We look at Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy and sit rightly on the policy side. And that's the work of government. Sit rightly on the policy side and tackle the policy inhibitors that we see in the spectrum. Because don't forget, we recently signed up to the African Free Trade Agreement, which now, to a large extent, thus liberalize our market in Africa. And everywhere you go, they tell you Nigeria is the giant of Africa, is the giant of Africa. And therefore, the expectation of other African countries is how will Nigeria leapfrog and take up advantage of that Free Trade Agreement Act in order to innovate and create innovative ideas that will move us forward. So I think the first thing is how we look at our policies, how we develop our policies to support a lot of these innovative ideas and bring out the best in the youth. Because I tell you, without those strong policies, there is nowhere we can go to. And that's why people speak about leadership does not need strong men, but strong institutions. The second bit is that we need to build strong institutions. We don't need to be political with those institutions that would drive these innovative ideas and take us to the next level. So that we need to build. There's no politics around it. We know what is politics, but we know where we want to go to. And for me, I drive that a country like Nigeria should have a 10, 20-year development plan. We did it in the past. I recall my days in Junior Chamber International, where we drove for the Vision 2020, if I can imagine. And then we tried to establish that. But people never follow through with that vision. So there has to be that vision. I lived and worked in Dubai for almost 4 years as an expert in that country in the oil and gas sector. And I saw, before I was leaving, the country had developed a 100-year strategic plan, which will outlive the current leaders. But they are looking at the future beyond the current leadership. So those institutions, those policies, those directions that government need to create need to be embedded in solid and strong institutions, not just seminars, not just conventions, and the rest of it. We need to dissuade the mind of our youth from politics, because today, the organizations that carry weight, if they sit back and want to carry out political activities, I'm sure this whole place will be filled up, because that's what they look up to, and not the creativity in them to change the context in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That's amazing. Thank you. Round of applause, please. I'd like to direct the same question to Mrs. Abisoye. Come in.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me just take a different approach to this. And I like what Mr. Tonya Cole said. He said, look, when they started promoting local content, they were not regulated. So I think what we need to look at, even as a government or as a nation, is the fact that we need to let people create things. With the creation of that thing, the innovator normally begins the process of lobbying to make sure they're regulated to protect their market. We can't start trying to regulate without the innovation happening. We want the innovation to happen. So if we look, I'm a student of Clay Christensen of Harvard Business School. And it's basically that we must not confine innovation. We must let it happen organically. We must let people create solutions, let them do things, and then post-creation. So we didn't license cars until Ford started creating cars. I'm trying to explain that. So we must let people do things, be creative, throw caution to the wind, do things that you see that solves problems. And after that, government must then you must then push government to take responsibility so that you can protect your innovation or your creation that you have done. Today, there are things around patenting, copyrights that already are created to help you make sure nobody takes advantage of what you've done. But we must allow people really go ahead and do things that they then see the need for protection on. That's my own approach to it. I think it should come, we should just encourage innovation as a government, right? Just like last week is doing research, just do what you need to do. And then we will find the right time to actually regulate those new things that are being introduced in the market.
Thank you so much, fantastic. Can I direct the same question to Mr. Piton, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. The approach that we took at BOI also is a bit different. When you look at the average Nigerian youth, they are smart. You know, people talk of Yahoo. That Nigerian youths, many of them, all they're engaging is to try and cheat people on the internet. When you look at the percentage of Nigerians who are involved in Yahoo, and the number of people we have in Nigeria, there's no comparison. But 50,000 people can give your country a bad image. So our approach is to say, look, if you are that smart and you can do Yahoo, why don't you do Yahoo to make money in a way that it is legal and is good? So we said, okay, fine. What we are going to do, we are going to put our money where our mouth is. We are actually going to encourage these youth to be able to write those programs, but sell it. So our CSR in the Bank of Industry now is not giving out money for different purposes, but actually investing money in hubs, IT hubs. We went to Ajah. We built the first one in Ajah. as a pilot. And the idea is that if you have the hub, many of these graduates, young graduates, very smart, they go around with their laptops. If there's a particular place they can go, there's internet, high-speed internet. They can do robotics. They can pay small amount of money for their office. So they have an office, they have high-speed internet, they can do things, they can be trained, they can do robotics. And then the center was, okay, we put it up, and the idea was that let us see how it goes. That center is full. The youth came, they wanted to have an office, and you can pay. You can pay to have an office for 1 day, pay to have an office for 1 week. That center now is being expanded. So we left Ajah, we went to Bayelsa. We put up another hub in Bayelsa, at least, in fact, actually 2 in Bayelsa. As I'm speaking now, we are building hubs in Kebbi State, we are building hub in Kaduna, and the idea is that we're going to build these hubs all over the nation. Every state we have one. We can generate employment for these youth. So rather than them doing Yahoo, make it a proper business. Because and already from the feedback we are getting, some of those youths are coming up with innovative programs. They are doing things they could not do before because, look, today you can be in Nigeria and be in Harvard. You can be in Nigeria and be in Oxford. But you cannot be studying. Some of these libraries of these universities are free, but you must have good internet connection. So if you can go to that kind of place that we have built, for instance, and the fees are very minimal, the idea is to bring down the cost, just make sure that they have enough money to keep it running so that you don't have to support every year. You can be in school. Some of these youth who are saying that school are shut down, they're not studying. They can do master's degree, in the hubs. Because you are sure that your lectures, you will hear everything. You can do your assignments. You can send things back. It's not that you are using, when we talk about high speed, we actually partner with Nigeria, Mobile. We're talking to MTN. We're talking about very high speed things. So I think, the country, organizations have to invest in the youth in creative ways. It is, you need to invest for the future. Like Antonio said, some of the jobs of tomorrow, are not probably even there today. Before, many years ago, somebody will tell you, I worked for IBM for 25 years and I retired. People will work for a company for 30 years and then they will do 30-year long service award and give you a grandfather clock. That time is fast. People are changing jobs every 3 years. People are working for themselves. That is the world that we are in. And Nigerians are smart. Let us see how we can convert. Look, if Nigeria is able to convert the energy of our youth, and make them to be creative and productive, we'll make more money than oil. What is Apple selling? How much is Apple worth compared to what we have in Nigeria that we're fighting over? It's the brain. And believe me, every country you go to in the world, there will be at least 1 or 2 Nigerians at the top. And when they're working in the US, Nigerians are very good workers. In the UK, they are fantastic. I don't know the problem with us. When they come here, there's a problem.
Yeah, I would like to add to that. Please. Oh, okay. I guess just to make it clear, I think the point is not about regulation. The point is about creating the enabling environment. And I think that's the point you made. And that is the role of government. Because I tell you, if you allow people to begin to innovate and you don't give them the enabling environment, they will do the Yahoo Yahoo you have just talked about. So I think that's the point I was trying to make for clarity.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to direct that question also virtually to Mr. Cole, if you can.
I've been having such a good time. I've just been laughing here. So I think when you're virtual, you can laugh as you like. So thank you, Peter. But look, these are very, very, very serious, serious issues, and I really want to implore Nigerian youth to believe in themselves. You know, as we were getting to, when we were turning 40, so that's about 12 years after starting Sahara. And so about a decade later, maybe about 10 years after, it occurred to us back then that myself and my partners at the company that we all thought was young had started getting old. And the technology had begun to shift in 10 years. And this is back in 2006. 10 years, technology had shifted so much that it became necessary for us to review ourselves and figure out that how do we survive into the next future. The only way we had to do that was that we had to start a program that brought in young people under the age of 30 and put them on an accelerated management scheme that allowed them to become managers within 5 years. That's top managers within 5 years. You had to promote them rapidly. And so we brought them in, began to train them, and allowed them within the company to create, innovate, and just come up with ideas that you would think are crazy. If I put down my finger today to the expansion of Sahara in the last 10 years, I will put it down to a group of young people, all under 30 years old, who decided that they would innovate, who were given the environment and what Simbi just said, the free environment to express themselves. They went into countries, they were not afraid. They met ministers, they met presidents, they were just given the confidence that you can do this thing. They leveraged on technology and they pushed and grew the company. Now, why I'm bringing this is just one company. Now, imagine if a nation allows the youth to express themselves and work within, so you have the moral aspect of it where you're doing the right thing, and you have the immoral one where you're doing the wrong thing. Now, imagine that you're giving them the understanding that they can create, they can innovate, and they can push themselves in a moral and right way. You can imagine the potential that can be unleashed. Now, I saw it. I saw it inside our company, and I'm telling you, the age bracket of the people who made the biggest difference were all under 29. And all we did was give them steering using experience that we had. Within 15 years of starting that program, Sahara has not been the same within 15 years. And all it took were young people who were under the age of 30. And I repeat this over and over again. Why? Because the mind and the way they think is totally different. They are ready to move. They are not afraid. They have a zeal. And once you make them understand that their input is critical and it will be listened to and accepted, that's it, they've gone. And so where we are today and what Symbia and Piton and Teju are doing from the government perspective, you cannot underestimate it. Believe me, this is exactly what we need in Nigeria. Men and women of this caliber who will sit down on the other side of the table, that's the government side of the table, and allow that environment for you, the youth, to express yourselves. And I am guaranteed that once you express yourself and you're allowed to do it, Nigeria will not be the same. That much I'm sure about. And so kudos to everyone here. We will believe in the youth and let's keep it going.
Thank you so much, sir. I think Mrs. Abusia wants to actually say something else.
I was just going to add to the fact that, yes, we will, as government, we must create the enabling environment. And then we would also find those synergies, because as Mr. Cole spoke, it clicked that those synergies between the private sector and the public sector that can encourage the young people to innovate. Like the idea, what we talk about, the idea hub, where you bring mentors from different sectors to actually help people, younger people in that space that want to find things, innovate with relation to that particular sector. So yes, we must create the environment, we must create the infrastructure, and we must help new founders meet the other older founders in that space.
Thank you very much for your responses. We're just going to take some question and answers from those that are watching virtually and also from here. And apparently we're actually going to take one question as well from the press who are here today and observing us. So I'm going to start with the questions here. Yeah. Is there a mic down there? Yeah, we have two questions that are going to be asked here. There are two people. You can ask your question and direct it to whoever you want to respond in the panelists.
Good afternoon. My name is Simon Swedov from Analytics Intelligence. I have a question for the madam. In relation to what your organization does, which is to help youths, I think, there's a root cause, which is that most youths in the educational institutions don't have the right equipment. So I get people who come and do CWES programs, and they're still being taught typewriting and shorthand. So I don't know if your organization is working closely to the Ministry of Education to address that issue. Just to address what Piton said in relation to them learning Yahoo. If you have people who haven't used a system and the first thing they're being taught is Yahoo, that's the only thing they're going to know how to use with a computer. And also to address what you said in terms of job employment, when you talked about Uber, Golkada and the rest have been expunged from Nigeria. I thought that there was going to be a replacement that would be Nigerian owned and that would be regulated. The issue was the safety of Nigerians. There are sensors now that you can use to collect data to see how many times someone brakes, to know their driving patterns. You can predict this with machine learning. And there's also another concern because machines are learning faster than human beings now. So in terms of, human beings actually keeping up and Nigerians with the current educational status that we have, I don't know what your organization is looking to address that. And then one more question for Sir Piton. In terms of the BOI, yes, there's a lot of funds being released to Nigerians, but there's the inflation rate, there's the issue of Forex. The data that the BOI has, how are they using that to create a synergy? So if I'm asking for a fund to make shoes, is there a company that BOI has given a loan to make rubber or leather to complement that my industry, basically? Thank you.
You want to go ahead? We'll take other questions and we'll answer everything together.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My question is addressed to Ms. Teju Abisoye, and my question is focused on transitioning from paper to actual reality facing tech disruptors and entrepreneurs in Nigeria with regards local and special interest groups and how they tend to hinder growth in the startup and emerging tech business ecosystem, notably in the transport, communication, manufacturing, and access to government resources also. Now, what is the government's plan in changing this landscape and eliminating the hurdles without interest or sentiments in this age of the fourth industrial revolution? Now, we are all aware, okay, let me not say all aware, but we should realize that most of the changes that does not occur in Nigeria are due to the fact that there are special interest groups that lobby the government and tell the government, see, don't do this. You don't do this because it's going to affect our businesses. Now, the government says it's committed to address this issue. Now, what is the plan of the government? Let's face reality and leave paperwork. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It's been a wonderful session, and I'm glad to be a participant here. Okay, my question now is that we've had series of grants from the government, from some bodies. So my question now is that how do we solve the challenge of information dissemination? Because most of the time, I feel it is few people that are aware of all these opportunities, all these grants. And for we undergraduates, as a student of Enactus, and the fact that we run community-based projects, so how can these grants, how can we be aware of it on ground so that it can help and assist us in achieving a better result? Thank you.
You good? Okay, we can, Mrs.
One more question, sir. Sorry, please. Thank you. My question goes to Mr. Piton. There is only so much NCDMB can do. We are aware of the NCIF fund and so much they are doing as regards Center of Excellence and everything. I want to find out, I'm very sure you know about Equino and this recent technology, the manless platform. Okay, technology keeps evolving. And like Mr. Cole said the other time, that he gathered a couple of people and they looked into the future and then they were able to take Sahara to where it is today. So I want to ask, how much are you, or is there a strategic plan from BOI to say they want to support NCDMB beyond the NCIF contribution they bring to you people? All right. And then particularly looking at, I'm not speaking for him. We know that the NCIF is almost depleted. They had to go back to get some additional. All right. So what plans, deliberate plans, do you have as BUI to add to that fund? Because we have indigenous companies who are looking forward to that. And also, with particular respect to technologies, what are you doing? R&D costs a lot. Before Equinor got to where they are today, with the manless rig, they spent a lot of money. So there is a deliberate plan from BOI to support the industry. Thank you, sir.
I think we can take some responses now so that the questions are still fresh.
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, first of all, we work in collaboration with the education sector as a whole, not just even, not just tertiary, but also secondary, primary, and vocational training centers. So one of our programs, for example, with the UNDP is also actually improving infrastructure and training facilitators with even private and public vocational training schools. It's very important, your question is very valid and very important that we take care of the grasp of the foundational issues, but then remember there's already now a backlog that you have to deal with. So you must be working, while you're working with the schools, you're also making sure that you're cleaning up the ones that are not yet very savvy. So one of the things I think the moderator actually mentioned, that what areas do we think innovators today can help solve this problem? I'll say, look, how do we take care of that gap that are not yet technology savvy? They don't have the exposure, they've been to school, they don't have the resources. How do we take care of teaching them the digital skills they need to make it happen? I'll share very quickly. I think it will be easier for the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund to execute our programs if everybody who came to us for a loan or to apply to a program can read and write and apply online. They don't need to walk in physically. How do we begin to solve that challenge, that gap of people that need to have those digital skills? So yes, we do work with educational institutes. Young man, let me explain something. Anywhere in the world, lobbying takes place. Lobbying happens. That's why you vote. Let me explain. You vote for the people that have what you're trying to achieve. The person whose manifesto expresses those concerns, because you understand that that's where you can go and lobby, because it's a program of that government. So it happens everywhere. Don't think it's only Nigeria, but it's for you to be very cognizant, follow the politics, be involved, so that you know those that are interested in, let me give you an example, renewable energy against today's, yes. So you have to follow, you have to know so that you can get things to happen. You don't want paper. You want us to reduce carbon emission. Follow the people that are interested in climate preservation. You have to do it. Everybody lobbies to get what they want. It happens everywhere. It's not going to stop tomorrow. You have to be part of that to make sure what you want to happen happens. It's very important. I think that was the last question to me, that information dissemination is a critical point that you make, that we have to be able, even at LSCTF, across this whole panel, everybody, we have to make more effort to make sure that the information gets to the right people. Today, we do grassroots engagements. We work with Unilag, LASU, in the entrepreneurship department to try to spread the word. But I guess we need to know more about people like Enactus, where we can get the right information into the right people's hands. And I will take this feedback and make sure that we find an approach to where we can get this information out appropriately. Thank you.
Maybe just to the last point, and the lady who asked the question, I used to discuss with my colleagues, why do I have Instagram on my phone? The idea is not the number of people that post pictures on my phone, but if you have Instagram, you will see everyday solution to humans' problems in that platform. You will just see somebody struggling on how to put his phone while driving. You will see an invention that can address that. So my thought process is, you have identified a very good business opportunity. And that's the way I think. It's if you take out today to say, as an innovator, you want to create a platform where you can bring all this information together. It's a business opportunity you have taken here to say, how do I solve this challenge? Not for Madame to take it on, but you see a business opportunity. By the time you create a platform, everybody comes into your platform to say, where are these grants existing? So I'm challenging you on that. Even to the young man, Madam, just to take a different tilt to it. I think the frustration, and that's my point about clear policy direction of government. It's not about regulation. Yes, in developed world, there are strict policies where people drive towards what government is thinking. But in our country, those policies are not clear. And as such, young innovators starting things don't understand the power of lobbying that you have said, because we're still very far in terms of innovating to change things in our country. But if it is clear to say, this is the direction of government, everybody will key into, when the lobbyists want to overtake them, they can flag that government direction in order to overcome them. I think that's my point about creating the enabling environment. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I think there were 2 or 3 questions that you posed to BOI. The first one is that IT is very expensive. What are we doing about it? For us, like I said, in BOI, we always put our money where our mouth is. Aside from the hubs that we are actually financing as part of our own contribution towards ensuring that the youth have access to these things, we also invest some of these hubs. There's a CC hub in Yaba. No, we are part of that. As I'm talking to you, there is a big hub being put up in University of Lagos. We are part of that. There's another innovation center being put up in University of Lagos. We are part of that. There's one in Abuja. We are part of that. And then in addition to that, we looked at that particular universe and saw that most of the people who are in that area, they are not able to get bank funding because most banks don't understand it and they need equity. So we now are promoting a tech fund for $75 million, for which BOI will put about 30%. So that has gone very far. We've actually advertised for the fund managers. That's to actually encourage Nigerian youths and companies, who are trying to raise money, because you don't have to go to California to get the money. Sometimes the money can be got in Nigeria. So we are actually active in that area. And you'll be hearing more from BOI. Your other question, I was talking to Simbi. I said, did he pay you to ask me the question? Because your question was that the money from Nigerian content, because it comes from the 1% that they collect, and since they have disbursed some money, what is BOI doing to add to what they are doing? Why Simbi is laughing is because he has discussed the same thing with me. So be fair to Nigerian content, where they are partners of choice. They give us $200 million. And that money has been fully disbursed. And they have just increased that by giving us another $150 million US. So you can thank Nigerian content on our behalf. But that money, I also agree with you, is not enough. Nigeria is a huge country. When I became MD, CEO of Bank of Industry 3.5 years ago, the balance sheet of the bank was 700 billion naira. BOI is the oldest and the most successful DFI in Nigeria. I said to myself, if a 60-year-old bank only has 700 billion naira balance sheet in a country where we need to have billions of dollars invested, it was not enough. I said to myself, one of the challenges that I saw, and I said I must try and do my best, is that this balance sheet must be increased. We must look for money. So I've been very aggressive in looking for funding BOI. In the last 3.5 years, we'll have raised about $2 billion US to increase the balance sheet of the bank. Today, our balance sheet should be about 1.5 trillion naira. I believe that maybe by end of the year or by early next year, we should cross the 2 trillion naira mark. And what is this money for? It's for what we are talking about. I said to Simbi, I said, look, aside from the money that they are giving us, we ourselves want to invest. Look, I have more interest in investing than what you think. I came from both the private sector. I know the pains of the people in that area. So anywhere I find myself, where I can help them, I must do it. Because the entrepreneurs, that is why we can create jobs. They need to have funding, not only funding. Nigerian entrepreneurs need long-term funding at interest rates that are reasonable. Why should you go and borrow money at 40% per annum? 30% per annum. In other countries, they are begging them to take money at 2%. How can you compete? So it's in our interest, and thank God that at least in the last 3.5 years that I've been at BOI, the foreign investors trust us. It's not easy raising money from overseas. As I'm talking to you now, we're in London raising money. We want to raise another $1 billion. That offer is already on. We are hoping to conclude it in another 2 or 3 weeks. By God's grace, it will succeed. March this year, we're able to raise 1 billion euros. So, to answer your question in another way, we are working very hard. And definitely, we will support people from our friends in Nigerian content and all Nigerians. Oh, yeah, friends too. She also has been talking to me. But believe me, the BOI of today is not the BOI of about 2 or 3 years ago. By God's grace, it's a much bigger bank. We are well rated, and the foreigners and the foreign banks, they trust us. And we don't want to breach that trust, which is why sometimes people ask, BOI, why don't you just give money to everybody? I say you cannot, because the monies that we give out are borrowed funds. Borrowed funds have to be repaid. If I give money out and those funds don't come back, then you are going to deny all the other Nigerians the opportunity to get money from BOI in future, because our sources of funds will dry up. We don't get money from government. We raise our money. I don't get money from budget every year. That money is private money. raised outside the country or from Central Bank of Nigeria. So I think I made my point. You know, definitely we are interested in growing what they gave to us. And we have committed that to them, that aside from what they gave us, we also are going to add to it to ensure that more Nigerians can benefit from BOI.
And maybe to add that the fund BOI is managing for NCDMB is also not free. Just to be clear, because there is return on that. It's private fund, so they are also managing it in that regard. Yeah.
And we are paying interest on it.
Absolutely. It's not free.
So it's not free money. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope we're all clear on funding and where the money is coming from. It's not free. So we're just going to entertain 3 more questions. So I'm just going to step down here. I have a question here on the board. If the young ones don't get into politics, who will change the policy? The youths are already creative, but the leaders are not allowing their work to grow with wrong policy. Does anybody want to answer that? Yes, I'll just pass it on here.
Thank you very much. I know I'm not a member of the panel, but I can speak to that. So the Office of Innovation and Technology was set up about a year ago now, and our mandate was very clear to raise the level of science, technology, and innovation. And one critical area that we've been looking at is policy, especially on the subnational context, so the Lagos context. So how do we enable young entrepreneurs, tech companies, whether big or small, how do we enable them grow and create the solutions that would give long-term value? So one of the things that we are doing this year is our Art of Technology Lagos, where we are having a policy ideathon. I don't know if you've seen some of the ads outside. So we are bringing one of the lawmakers in the Lagos House of Assembly, the chairman on Subcommittee on Science and Tech, to come and listen to co-designed and co-created policy ideas, right? And basically to also give his commitment that he will, as in his best possible effort, push some of these policies, right? And so because there are a lot of policies that are created, but how, what's the depth of engagement with the private sector and the people in the ecosystem to really benefit? So we think these engagement points are very, very important. And, you know, going to what Mrs. Abisoye said, I think we young people need to realize that lobbying power, right? To really talk to some of these lawmakers and get them to, you know, really pass some of these enabling policies. One of the other things we are also creating long-term is safe zones. When you look at places like Silicon Valley, there is a mishmash of creation happening there just because it has the right elements. It has the educational institution like Stanford. It has the companies. It has government. You know, that was the area the internet was created. It was a military project by DARPA, which was a military installation. So these safe zones, right, we are looking to create them so that the right kinds of creation can also happen there. So you have a place like Yaba where you have the school, so you have the labor supply. You have some of the tech companies there, so you have the industry. Then you have the infrastructure. That place is going to be a beneficiary of our 3,000 kilometer fiber optic ring. So you have the infrastructure there. And then we have the commitment of some big tech global players that will domicile there and provide some of the experimentational equipment that will enable creation to happen there. So there is some work going on at the subnational level. I'm sure other people can speak about the national level. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Can I jump in?
I think I'm just going to take one more question from the press. Just one question from anybody from the press, if there is.
Can I jump in?
We can't take any more. We need to wrap up.
Can I jump in?
Okay, 2 questions from the press.
Can I jump in?
Press only. Anybody? Yeah.
Can
From the press. No, okay. Yeah. Can someone get her the mic, please?
Thank you. I'm pressed. So. All right. My name is Margaret Okojako. I'm with the Major Waves Energy Report. I want to commend the NCDMB for putting this together and Enactus Nigeria for this kind of opportunity. I want to ask my question based on what the ES mentioned about AFTA, Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. So I see AFTA is about closing the gap, bridging the gap between African nations and enabling trade across the region. So I want to look at it in the scope of science, technology, innovation. Is there any way that we can incorporate, because you mentioned that in your speech, sir, about putting this policy into AFTA to enable this technology to grow beyond the borders. And I'm seeing that from all the speeches this morning, Mr. Toyeko mentioned how they bring young talents together and try to create a company that is like a global company. Jennifer Fords mentioned that for a 100 slot position, 10,000 applied. Same goes for Yali and every other innovation out there. We have super abundance of talent in Nigeria. And I'm thinking, if we try to create an enabling environment that will go across this region and across our border, isn't that possible that we can have our young talent develop beyond even our own capacity and we can be able to even export into across region when we close that gap? So I'm trying to ask, in terms of speaking to policy now, can NCDMB play that same role that you're playing with Enactus Nigeria, maybe Enactus Global, and bringing more stakeholders and at the same time trying to work out the policy for AFTA to include technology and innovation?
Well, you want me to answer that? The answer is very simple. I think the guy who asked Kayode the question about NCDF with Bank of Industry, to say there is so much NCDMB can do. There's so much that we can do. We cannot take on that role, but we can be an enabler to that role, because today you have the Ministry of Trade and Investment, who is saddled with the responsibility of driving the impact and the potentials of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And I think they are driving that process. And I think we are a member of a committee that they've set up to see how we drive that. And that comes back to my statement about enabling environment and the right policies. If we strategically take the potential impact and the opportunity of that agreement, this is the time to succinctly come out with the right policy and the right enabling environment for us to take advantage of it. We are not there yet, as far as I'm concerned, that we want to dominate the African market or the African sector. We need to do a lot more work in-house as our focus. And I think Pastor Kayode also will agree with me. The Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, yeah? And every other thing shall be added unto you. Seek ye first the development of your innovative ideas and technology. You will therefore conquer Africa in line with the AFTA agreement. I think that's what I can say to that. But for us to be the ones to drive it, no. We will be part of it, but we will not be the drivers of that initiative. Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I've just been told that Mr. Cole has a comment to make. So we're just going to go to Mr. Cole virtually.
Yes, I do. Okay, thank you very much. Look, very quickly, there are two lines. We've been talking a lot about the policy end, but somebody asked about youth in politics as well. And from my experience from way back, as long as you don't have the right people in politics, then the policy is going to be affected. So one of the assurances that I must point out here is that only when you begin to get directly involved in the politics can you be assured, fully assured about the policies. So the right people must get into politics for the right policies to also come out of that. If not, you will continue to struggle. And I just love exactly what Simbi said in the last aspect of it. And we're not there. And that's why you have this gap. So to the young people in the room, for a long time, and we are all of us, everyone in this room, including my co-panelists, for a long time, we were very anti-politics. We stayed away from it. We didn't want to be interested in it. We all pursued very nice careers in oil and gas, in banking, and so on and so forth. But it came to us very quickly that if we do not get involved in politics, we will not be able to enact the kind of policies that would help the private sector and all of you young people there to get where you want to get to. So please, as a matter of urgency, you also have to get involved in the politics. And I saw the question say that the old people don't want the young people to come in and all of that. I don't agree with that statement. What I believe is that both the young and old generation need to come together. There must be a mapping of intergenerational dialogue and intergenerational discourse for one to move to the other, because old people will die, young people will grow older. So one way or another, you have to have that discourse. But that, for me, is critical, and I don't want us to miss that point. Young people must get involved in politics, and you must get involved in politics now when you are still in your 20s. Don't wait until you are 50 before you decide that you want to get involved in politics. You would have missed the boat, so that the right policies will be enacted for you and your colleagues also to enjoy the entrepreneurship innovation that we're talking about today. Thank you.
Do we need to take one more question from the press? Oh, no, okay, that's fine. I'd like to thank everybody on the panel today for a stimulating discussion. Oh, apparently there's a question on here. Okay, all right, I'm just gonna take it. The question is, how can the heads of these organizations ensure that policies favor local content? We are all aware of IPIS, which the country adopted as payment platforms, while ASU developed UTAS and local content, which ordinarily should be embraced by the government, but it is very unfortunate that this has generated much heat than the real issues that lead to the strike. Anybody want to? I think it's more of a statement than a question. I don't know, but the question is, how can the heads of this organization ensure that policies favor local content? Huh?
No, I think from where I sit to observe what is going on, I don't think the government is throwing away the idea of what ASU is put on the table. I saw the Minister of Labor and Productivity explaining that they also needed to test the efficacy of that platform that has been developed. So strictly speaking, the government believe in local content, but again, it has to prove itself. It's just like in the oil and gas industry, we say we drive local content without compromising quality, safety. It's very important because of the risky nature of that business. So I think in the same vein, the government needs to scrutinize the new idea and to make sure that it will also meet the intent and aspiration of government. And I think that's what they are doing from where I sit and what I read. So we are also looking at it, and I think the government believe in it. If you recall, this administration have signed 2 executive orders, and these orders are specifically on encouraging local content. So I do not think the baby and the bathwater will be thrown away, but the efficacy of it needs to be tested before it is utilized. I think that's what I see in the general discourse.
Hope we're satisfied with that response. Before we round up, we're just going to take a 1-minute address from Mr. Olatubosun Alake, the representative from our Lagos State Governor.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I've thoroughly enjoyed this panel, but I wanted to just piggyback on what Mr. Tonye Cole was saying about the young people getting involved in politics. And I think it's very, very important because it's an opportunity for you to vote in your value system, to be able to create the policies that you require. The value system of this country will determine its development trajectory. And you look at different countries and the way they are developed, when you look at their value system very critically, it determines what they do. Look at the Scandinavian countries, very high welfare rates. There's a value system that informs the kind of system they run there. It's the same thing with the Chinese and all of that. So I just want to encourage each and every one of us to really, really get involved and espouse the values you want to also see in your leaders. I think it's very important, and we'll be able to drive the development that we all want to see. Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe just to add, maybe like a different dimension, we'll create another platform where we'll discuss youths in politics. But primarily, this is to encourage innovation and innovative challenges. And that's the whole idea of this. Politics discussion will come later, and I'm sure the MC will summarize some of this. I am one of those who will encourage, but let us remain focused on why this platform is being created. I think I wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very, very important because we can't digress and move away from the topic at hand here. I'm sure we've all learned a great deal from the panelists here. They've brought a tremendous wealth of knowledge. To the youths, we have to understand that these platforms exist. These initiatives exist. And the government has, is doing as much as they can to provide all the different assistance platforms, environments to be able to foster your ideas. So the key to all this working are the ideas. So we're just encouraging you to bring up these ideas, and you do have people with a listening ear, wealth of experience, and the motivation and the determination to see it through. So we want to thank all our panelists, but I want to invite Mr. Michael to address us for about a minute.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to take a moment to express our gratitude to the panel that have done a fantastic job. If you agree with me, please put your hands together for them.
We need to talk yes, we are going.
The panelists that are here, including Mr. Ko, who joined us online, I thought that was great. So thank you, sirs and madam, for accepting our invitation and for doing such a great work today with us. Thank you. God bless you all. And my hope is that, or our hope really, is that at the end of the day, the young people who often complain that there aren't so many opportunities in Nigeria will see this as exactly what it is, a great opportunity to be leveraged upon, to establish themselves, to define their future, to define their own career and become successful in future. The entire program is laden with beautiful things, including mentorship, including funding, including business incubation for the top winning ideas. So please embrace this. And I'm speaking not only to these young people in the room right now, but also all of you who are following the program through social media. So thank you all. Before I hand over back to the panel, the moderator, I just wanted to say something about Enactus for a minute. Enactus is spread across 36 countries around the world, and in Nigeria, we are present in over 30 tertiary institutions. One of the key stakeholders in the success of Enactus across these locations are the faculty advisors. Now, the faculty advisors are the lecturers, some of them very senior to the level of vice chancellor or deputy vice chancellor, serving as mentors, as coordinators of the program on the campuses and supporting the young people, taking out of their time, and really they are volunteering to do that. And today, we are honored to have two of our faculty advisors from the University of Lagos join us here again, representing other faculty advisors across the country who are unable to be here. So I'd like to take 1 second for us to recognize them. Dr. Yewande and she stepped out, please and Mr. Adekoya. Okay, Dr. Yetunde is graciously walking into the room. Thank you for all you do, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ajayi. So I'd like to thank you very much for taking part in this. We'd like to thank our panelists yet again. I'm sure you all had a very informative time. Yeah, I'm sure you've all had a fantastic time. Please, let's not forget the reason why we were here. Keep the fire burning, keep hoping, and keep taking advantage of these initiatives for those that are here and also those that are watching online. Thank you very much.
A very big thank you once again to our panelists. We've come to one of the highlights of today's event. So can we please be seated? We're almost done. We'll be done in a few minutes. We've come to one of the highlights of today's event, which is the unveiling of the STIC website. A lot of talking has gone on. It's now time to also back up that talking with action, with a ready solution to enable our young people to begin to access support needed to be more innovative and productive. And so to unveil the STIC website, I want to make welcome Lola James, the Special Project and Corporate Community Leader, Enactus Nigeria. Please, can we put our hands together for Lola James as she comes up for the unveiling of the website. We're also going to have some Q&A.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. We're almost at the end of the program, and this is like the highlight for us. We are very grateful you were able to stay this long, and we are very sorry it took longer. But I'm sure it was worth it, right? I mean, we got to hear a lot of information that even I didn't know before. So the very important part of the program, the launching of the STIC website. So what that means is at this point, you can start applying, sending in your applications. I can see the Enactus students with their phones already. First of all, I'm going to start off with a video that just sort of captures the essence of the website, and it just shows you a brief summary of what the website does look like. Sharaf, please, over to you. I saw Sharaf smiling when the video was playing. He put that together in about how many hours? In about 6 hours. So thank you very much for being able to do that. So now that the website is launched, ladies and gentlemen, you can send in your applications. Just to remind you that the applications are open from today till the 14th of January, please. So you will come to the website and then you'll get all the details you would need. So I definitely don't need to go through the details of the website. But there's something exciting happening right now. So please bring out your phones if you want to win some gifts right now. Thankfully, the director of capacity building, NCDMB, is going to be responding on the website. You see a live chat option on the website. So please, I can see people looking at their phones, please. An actor student. So please send him a question and he's going to reply. The very first 5 people to send him a chat are going to get airtime courtesy of STIC. So do we have... So STIC, can we have the website up, please? stic.org.ng. Let's begin to appreciate the technology we've spoken about all day. So you see a live chat option. So the idea is that if you chat with us, we will respond immediately. That's what we're trying to let you understand. Feel free to ask any questions. So the very first 5 people, so that's the box just down there. We have... Thank you, Dr. Amma. Okay, so we have Olamide. Olamide in the room, or is he or she online? We have our winners already? Can't find the... You have 5 already, so thank you. So that's the website of the STIC, officially launched already. So I'm just going to take you through a few details of the website. So this picture, the competitive process it's very, very simple. You would see, can I have the competitive process, please? Down, please. Yes, so this sort of explains the way the entire application process is going, the competition is going to. So it starts, obviously, so we just done this, we just done launch the website, and then you apply through, and it goes through all of these stages for about 7 months. So the idea is the winners of the STIC 2020 will be announced in another 7 months, because we're going to go through a couple of processes till we're able to select the top 3 winners for this. The application process is under the homepage called How to Apply. Sharaf, do you want to go there, please? Sharaf, how to apply, please. As you can see, it's open from today till the 14th of January. And then there is the application process, application form. So you fill the application form. So can you click the application form, please? Or apply now, either of them. Takes you through to this page. So what I would advise is you download the form, fill it offline, and then come on here to sort of copy and paste whatever you've typed in. It's a very simple process. And then please don't forget to click the submit button. Obviously, we want to see your pictures. We want to identify the Zuckerbergs of Nigeria. So your pictures would be there. And just like I mentioned before, two students from an institution can apply. So you must be 2. So it's a competition for teams of people. So 2 students from the same institution. So you can't be from institution A and institution B, must be from the same institution. So you have details of each of the students, their social media handles, their phone numbers. Can we go on, please? Just up, just scroll up. So all the details you will be able to enter. And then please don't forget to click the submit button. Until you click the submit button, we won't be able to get your application. Thank you very much. So now that the website is officially open, we are looking forward to receiving your applications. Do we have questions about the website and the application process, please, before I leave the stage? Any questions? Enactus students, any questions? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, thank you. Often in a lecture, when the lecturer says any questions, it's either everyone completely understood what he was saying, or people just didn't get it, so they don't even know where to ask questions from. But I believe it's the first we all understood about the website, and would get on it and begin to apply and get in the entire process. So we're coming to the end of today's event. I'm sure we've all learned something. I'm sure we're all living here better off. I'm sure we're all living here planning to do something with information we've gotten today. No matter how fantastic an idea you have, if you do not take a step or you do nothing about it, if you sit back and wait for something that will happen to that idea, you can be sure nothing will ever come out of that ideas. Ideas only become products or projects or innovations when we do something about them, no matter how little. Ensure you're doing something about what you've learned today. Do something about that idea as soon as possible. I would like to make welcome to give us a closing remark, Dr. Ama Ikuru, for a closing remark. Please, let's jam our hands together. This is the last clapping you do. And after his closing remark, we're all just going to line up outside for some photo ops. By the setup there, we're going to be taking pictures and all of that. So please, after the closing remark, let's just pick parks and then march out for photo ops. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think my job is a lot easier now. All the dignitaries on the protocol list have all moved out, so I don't have to worry about protocol, right? So let me just make it simple. I stand on the existing protocol. Is that not what we say? Yeah, and I'll finally then acknowledge my friends and colleagues from the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board. And then I will acknowledge the management and the staff of Enactus. At least I can see Mike here, at the door. Yeah, so let me recognize Enactus. But most importantly, I want to recognize the community that joined us online. I believe you are still there and you are still supporting us virtually. I want to thank you for spending your valuable time with us. I always reckon that when you have an important job to do, you should call the youth to get it done. So today is a special program for the youth, but I don't like using the word youth because the meaning is always confused here. Down in the Delta where I come from, a youth is somebody between age 20 and age 80. So when you are 80 years old, you are a youth, which is why when you check the youth wing of political parties, you always see old men. Am I correct? Now, the discussions today, we are talking about when you come to Nigeria, Nigerians, when they go outside, they excel. When you bring them back home, things begin to fail and they do yahoo, yahoo, not so. It's because when you come home, the same intervention you target at young people abroad, here you target it at very old men, the youth. And so they cannot assimilate, and so things don't happen. So let's not talk about youths in this program. Let's talk about innovators, the class of innovators. And I see here a lot of innovators seated. Now I tell you, the board is always, always supportive of people with creative ideas. For you that have come today, I'll give you a free bonus. We have the board's website, www.ncdmb.gov.ng. You go to our Logic JQS portal, you can all register yourselves. So all the other good things, somebody was talking about information. How do you get information from the board? All the good information from the board you see there. When you register there, if you are qualified for employment and we are doing a list of people for employment, we will take you on. It has happened, it's not a joke. We do that all the time. If we are training people in special skill areas and we need people like you, we'll take you on. So all of you in this room, make sure you stand there to be counted so that when we are given the opportunities, we'll call you. And also when we are supporting entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs in this room will also be supported. That said, the journey for 2020 Science and Technology Innovation Challenge has just started. For me, I'm believing and I'm looking forward to seeing great things happen to us. I think we've said a lot about the Industrial Revolution. If you reckon, we were left behind by the first Industrial Revolution also. So when they found those machines, steam engines, and started organized businesses, what happened to us in Africa? We became enslaved. They packed us to go and work in those farms, not so, to support the first Industrial Revolution. The second Industrial Revolution, when electricity came and all those things happened, what happened? They left us behind. Even till today, we are not, at the second Industrial Revolution. We still have outages everywhere. Some of you are using a Pass My Neighbor. In Port Harcourt, there's a generator called a Pass My Neighbor. Some of us are struggling to grapple with it. The third Industrial Revolution came, the age of computers, internet, and things like that. Somebody was talking about typewriters today. We are still at the age of typewriters. So let the fourth Industrial Revolution not pass us by. The age of digitization. Let our phones, let our computers, let our brains work. Yeah? And we are looking forward to a day. All of you have your phones today. You can talk to Siri. Say, Siri, who is the dumbest person in this room? And Siri will say, I cannot answer that question. Yeah? And then you can send messages and things like that. We are coming to the age where you have your phone as your body, and you say, I want to eat jollof rice. And by the time you knock on your door, jollof rice is ready on the table. That's technology. Let's work on that technology. We want to see the next Mark Zuckerberg, yeah, or all the techie people around the world want to see the next one come out of Nigeria. Yeah, somebody that my kids were telling me a Nigerian company sold it's a business for 200 million. We're talking about billions, guys. So the 200 million is fine, but from this effort, you can sell $1 billion. So let's have very good products coming out of this. Take this very seriously. I want to congratulate all of you that have signed on already. I trust what Enactus can do. I was with Enactus at the World Cup last year, and I was amazed. So don't think this is a joke. It's a very big thing that has come to the world of Nigerians, and the board is seriously behind this. Yeah. So let me thank all of you as you get back home. Let us believe that we can make it and make Nigeria even greater than America. And let me thank all of you for supporting the board. Thank you so very much, and goodbye.